There you go. Game capture. Oh, whatever. Yeah, so anyways, I'm here with Scott Pilgrim versus the World. I know it took a while. I know I'm the only one watching, but streaming. Streaming for a reason. So I gotta there you go. Alrighty. Even if no one watches, I know I'm watching. But yeah, I'm gonna play this game for a bit, then play Witch of the Holy Night. So we're gonna see what else with that. I'm not gonna lie, I completely forgot this game is a beat 'em up. This is crazy. Oh, it's a taunt. Why? Wow. Okay, that's why are knives and Kim kissing, bro? What's going on? All right, but I'm gonna be honest. I've never played a beat 'em up before. At the very least, if I have, I generally do not remember doing so. So it's been a very long time, if anything. This is so weird, man. This is so weird. Oh, oh, I died. Oh, okay. His game, his game feels super weird, man. I don't know. I oh, okay. That's what it is. Let's see. Zoom game, return a bad moves list. Hmm. All that what? What is going on? What? Lucas Lee. Hmm. Yeah, I don't know. It's gonna take a little bit to get used to this game, but same Scott Pilgrim charm. It's, again, dated, but I still respect it. I still respect it. It's so cute that she gives a booty bump. That's so funny. Can I? What? Okay, I gotta look at what's it called. Not status, help and options, controls. What's the B button? It's circle, right? Yeah. I'm about to say. So if it's telling me, oh, I don't have it. I'm so dumb. Wow. Okay. You know, I'm quiet. I'm learning. I'm trying to get acclimated with everything going on here, but it's a lot to process right now. It's a lot to process. I'm not used to playing games like this and then streaming them too. So I wanna preface by saying like I'm probably not gonna like play this game like too often on stream. I don't know if I'm even gonna play it after the stream, but I just wanted to give it a try because I did say like I bought it on in the Scott Pilgrim video. I wanted to at least give it a try on stream, and then if I play it afterwards, it'll probably be like a game I play on a downtime or something. But I at least want to make good on my word and play it. Golly, they hurt. What? Oh, back tap. Okay, that's what I'm misunderstanding. Okay, that's what. Okay, I understand it. I understand it now. They're frying me right now. I'm not gonna lie to you, they're frying me. No, bro, I'm cheating. I'm cheating. What? Brother man, what was that? How long is this? Is this stage? Oh, I might lose here. Oh god, I might lose here. Yep, I did. Oh, there you go. That's Scott. It is Scott. Oh shoot. I'm dead. I died. Ain't no way. Oh, oh, it counts zero. Okay, that's cool. Oh, it's so. Wow. Awesome. I might just lose because of that. That's great. I'm dead. But I'm. Not gonna lie to you, it's really weird that the characters don't make any sounds when they hit, especially the main characters. You would think that they would, but because like they have sound effects for everything else, but weird. I don't know. Probably just didn't have the budget to get the voice actors back, so I don't blame them. Alright, I'm dead. Wait, don't tell me. I gotta start all the way from the beginning. Oh man, that's rough. That's rough, rough. I will say this game does have some decent pixel art, you know? So what I use for reference when I'm playing this game, like not even like for gameplay, just like in contrast, is Castle Crashers because like that was the other I guess beat 'em up game that I played before, like this style. And I'm gonna be honest, I don't know, I kind of enjoyed that one a lot more compared to this one, but maybe it's just because I'm still new to this game, so I don't know. Thank goodness. Sorry, I dodged the bus. There you go. All right. Ooh, okay. How long is this stage, man? Like, golly. This is this is great. Great. It's fantastic. I love that. Alrighty. Yo, can you stop running into them, please? Oh my gosh, yo. And you ran. Oh my gosh, yo. Kim, you smart cookie. You really smart cookie. Golly. Hoy. Somehow that was easier than the actual stage. That's crazy. I'll take it though. Shout out Kim. Shout out Kim. Pop. Let's go. Kirby Star Allies. Ah, so that's okay. That makes sense. That makes sense. Let's see. I'm gonna exit, and if my save data is deleted, then let's see. Yeah, so it kept that, which is cool. Yep, so it kept that. Okay. So I guess the game's replay value is in playing different characters, going through different routes, getting them as strong as possible and seeing what happens. But okay, okay. I see the vision with this game. I see the vision. As of right now, do I want to replay it? Or do I want to play it? Not really. I'll be honest. I uh oh, I didn't even notice John was here. Oh man. Uh yeah, let me close this game. I think I'm good for this game right now. What I really want to play is this. Sure, I'll just use a computer. Who really cares? What I really want to play is this. Okay. Can I not put it in full screen? Oh, so quick save. Uh, does it have a voice recording? There's none. Okay. Well, this is interesting. But yeah, Witch of the Holy Night. One of my friends recommended this game to me. So, another visual novel. What a surprise. And I'm excited to play it. I'm really excited to play it. I'll be honest. I think this channel is gonna be more of a visual novel type channel because like it's what I love. It's what I love playing. So we'll see where we go from here. But it was a winter's day 8 years ago. That solemn morning when she understood the value of life for the very first time. Her home was nestled on the side of a mountain. Around it was nothing but inhospitable wilderness. She had no neighbors or childhood friends to speak of. Things like traveling to school or playing outside were more trouble than they ought to be. Indeed, with its pure water and bright stars, it was a place rich with memories both frustrating and Halcyon. Music right now is going insane. I gotta turn it down a little bit though. It's kind of loud. Like an 80. But, okay, yeah, it is showing. It is showing. Alright. No, not Scott Pilgrim. Try that one. Witch of the Holy Night. There you go. Now it should be. Yep. There you go. Now it should be good. So then we do that, and then bop. Witch of the Holy Night. Indeed. With its pure water and bright stars, it was a place rich with memories both frustrating and halcyon. That was only during summer, though. Winter in those mountains were extremely frigid, each morning more severe than the last. Her father would drive her to the train station, after waiting 10 minutes for the engine to warm up and the ice. Excuse me. Getting a little congestion. After waiting 10 minutes for the engine to warm up and the iced over windows to clear. So, there's no point for me to read the already voiced lines because, the narration's going to come from the internal monologue in the narrator, of course. But the dialogue itself, since this is actually voiced, I don't really need to say anything. So, I'm just going to let them speak and then, I'll intervene when I need to. Her father would savor his morning coffee, leaving her to venture outside and rev the engine. Out the front door she would go, traversing the garden with icy breath until she reached the old sedan. As always, she inserted the key, then started the ignition. The engine rumbled to life, just as she proudly finished that humble task she'd done so many times before. The heck was that? A shrill scream pierced the air. She knew, even though it wasn't human, that feeble sound was a cry of agony. A few moments passed. Her father came out and opened the hood of the car. Creaking fan belts. A monstrous-looking engine. And something that didn't belong. There was a cat, a mother by the looks of it, and her 2 kittens. The 3 cats had been huddling for warmth in the engine's compartment. The mother cat was missing its head. One of the kittens had been mangled beyond recognition by the engine belts and surely died instantly. The other kitten, its half face covered in blood, panted faintly. It desperately clung to its mother, or rather, the chunk of meat that had been its mother, with the last bit of life it could muster. Her father lamented their plight. The previous night had been especially cold. After he had returned home yesterday, the cats must have snuck under the hood, drawn by the warmth of the engine. They had slept next to the engine, and awoke him to a storm of spinning belts. Cars in the 80s were not sealed particularly well, so this was not unheard of. I think I know who that is. Wow. That's really dark, though. Golly. That's really dark. Her father's voice seemed distant. She could only make out a small tuft of the kitten's gray fur. The rest of it was caked in the blood of its mother and its brother. I can see its skull. The fragile life of a speckled kitten. Trembling and possibly blind, it continued to nuzzle against its dead mother's chest. She took the kitten into her arms and ran deep into the mountains to her grandfather's house. Was it because she was overcome with regret? Or was it the shock of grief? Years later, she still wasn't sure. Fighting back the welling tears, she burst into her grandfather's workshop. Her grandfather was a magician who could do anything. She had never seen magic. She knew that magic was a fantasy straight out of fairy tales. But so was her grandfather. She had to find him. He was the only one who could help. The cave-dwelling magician said indifferently. This kitten needs our help, she pleaded. Whether it was a simple task or a Herculean labor, her grandfather would not say. Oh, excuse me. I forgot. This is why narrating so late. I get tired really fast. Especially since I'm sick now too. It's a lot harder. Matter of fact, give me 1 second. Alrighty. Her, excuse me. He simply granted the child or the girl's childlike wish, like a machine. Oh, I never mentioned, by the way. I never played a Type Moon visual novel. The only one I played, of course, was Fate Grand Order, but that's a mobile game. It's not meant to be a visual novel. Of course, it has visual novel elements, but it's not a visual novel. At least in my eyes. If you consider it, that's fine. I don't blame you for it. But this is like a true visual novel. No gameplay. This is legit just a story. But, anyways, the girl said. Before she knew it, however, she was holding a tiny corpse in her hands. Its fur was cold. The warmth of life had left its body, and the tears she had fought so hard to hold back poured from her eyes. Regret spread through her chest like an endless gray sky. Her mind struggled to come to grips with what had just occurred. The last 10 minutes were a total blank. Who she met, what she had known, it was all as if it never happened. The only thing she was sure of was that life, once extinguished, can never return. That day, it was her mistake that gave birth to me. Indeed. Whatever occurred that day, it was a day of nostalgia and longing. This is the fairy tale of 8 years ago. The day they first met, that no magic can ever bring back. Arrogant, greedy, and able only to destroy, I must be a wolf. I don't have regrets. There's no looking back. If my pride left you behind, my sincere condolences. But at any rate, I suppose it's my fate to die at the hands of Little Red Riding Hood. Chapter 1. Strange one. I started this game and there was no title screen. There was legit nothing. No, but like, talk about auto scroll. Brother, where's the menu? I. You know what? Whatever. We'll just keep going. It was a quiet morning. From her bed, she could see the sky was an ashen watercolor gray. The thermometer displayed 43 degrees Fahrenheit, a rather unforgiving temperature for November. Her stomach woke her up with a growl, pathetically reminding her that she had completely missed breakfast. But lazy mornings like today were for her a blessing. It was already well past 8 in the morning. On an ordinary weekday, tardiness would be unavoidable. But today, classes were canceled in commemoration of the school's anniversary. Gratefully, she had every intention of taking it easy for the first time in ages. Outside the window was a gloomy gray, and it reminded her more of evening than morning. I like the way that the this is formatted. Gives a lot more space to the what's it called to the text, and also like you'd be surprised at how like this is a visual novel. Like this is legit a visual novel, even though it's just text on a screen. At the end of the day, the presentation is what lifts it up. It changes it completely, and it's so cool. But yeah, anyways, it wasn't a pleasant morning by any stretch of the imagination. But having been up all night until just 3 hours ago, she couldn't care less about the weather outside. All she cared about was more sleep. As long as she could spend her morning in bed, what was happening outside was of no concern to her. She shut the curtains, then closed her eyes and tried to let sleep reclaim her. Blissful slumber found her soon enough. Her consciousness faded. However, her simple request would be mercilessly refused. A faint but shrill sound lingered in her ears. It was the unmistakable ring of a telephone. Much to her chagrin, her eyes popped open out of habit. The telephone was situated in the foyer on the first floor. Answering it meant walking down a 30-foot corridor and going down a flight of stairs. In her sleep-deprived state, that distance seemed somewhere between incredibly far and astronomically far. The phone's incessant ringing continued. She knew the caller would eventually give up if she ignored it. But she chose to fight the urge. She thought her housemate would get it, but she soon had to abandon all hope. The realization struck that her housemate did not have that day off from school. It was likely in class at her prestigious little hilltop academy. Excuse me. Let me redo that. The realization struck that her housemate did not have the day off from school and was likely in class at her prestigious little hilltop academy. The caller proved incredibly persistent. That persistence made the volume of the ringing seem even louder. This game is really loud. Hold on. There you go. She was left with no choice but to get up, throw a top on, and leave the room. She rubbed her hands together to warm her numb fingers. The mansion's heating system was inadequate, to say the least. Oh, it replayed it. Oh, okay. Weird. Isn't there... I guess it was just more like a change in scene. Whatever. Because I thought you could look back at the text, but I guess not. Yeah, weird. Cool, you can see the what's it called too. Let me see. Which meant that winter was the very worst of invited guests. Never more so than a dreary morning as this, when one didn't need to use a thermometer to know how cold it was. The mansion sat in the mountains and was surrounded by dense forests. Winter always arrived here first, before moving on to nearby towns. The robotic ring of the telephone reverberated throughout the long hallway. The mansion's furnishings had been so perfectly maintained that it made the place feel unlived. It seemed lonelier than it did splendid. Coupled with the dreary morning, it could have passed for a haunted house. She counted more than 30 rings since it first began. The caller either had a lot of free time on her hands or had a good understanding of the house's circumstance. She had a strong hunch it was the latter. The window above looked out onto a gloomy sky. She hastened to catch the unrelenting ring in the act as soon as possible, though she had a feeling that her happy morning might come to a close the moment she caught it. It was here that a series of incidents would begin. Excuse me. It was here that a series of incidents began. Apologies for lack of romance to this tale, for whether it be objectively true or merely suspicion. What does that say? Supposition? I never heard of that word before, supposition. Let's see. What does it mean? Oh, uncertain belief. Okay. It is always from gloomy and unassuming beginnings that extraordinary events are set in motion. Set into motion, excuse me. Oh, it's the intro. Crazy. Legit, this intro had me captivated the whole time. I'm excited though. I'm really excited. My friend said it's really good, so I'm really excited to see how this story turns out. But let's see. Which of the holy night, or excuse me, which on the holy night? Keep saying of. It's not that. It's on the holy night. Wow, it just transitioned. That's so cool. That's so cool. There you go. I'm not gonna lie. I want to try something, but I'm really scared to. Uh, brother, there is a title screen. What? Yes. Is my controller still? It isn't. So why in the world is it? Shouldn't be that. Weird. Alright, yeah, but it is. It's saved, so that's Hmm. Yeah, none of these characters we've met yet, so can't really say anything about them. Cool though that they blocked that out because we haven't met them. That's pretty dope. Oh, I want it full screen. Excuse me. Mm. There you go. There's the backlog. I'm about to say, fellas, where is it? Let me see it. There you go, and then configurations. Yeah, I think it should be good. Alrighty. Let me at least see the title screen before anything. Which in the Holy Night. Oh, here's here's the what's it called? Here's the main menu, so that's cool. I'm gonna go a bit farther. I think the stream's like at an hour and 30 now. No, an hour and 10, somewhere around there. Oh, hey, how's it going, man? I didn't even realize you were here. Yeah, I'm playing Mahoya. I'm playing this. Bought it back in the Steam sale, so wanted to start playing it since I finished another visual novel I was playing like a week ago. So I'm excited for that. I'm excited for that. I'm gonna go a little bit further before I close the stream, but thanks for stopping by. I'm surprised that you're awake right now, but I appreciate it regardless, bro. I genuinely appreciate it. But yeah, anyways, back to gas. The rain has subsided somewhat. Oh, actually, wait. Can I hear? I can hear myself, right? Let's see. Okay. Yeah. You can hear me. I don't know if it's still in there, but whatever. I really need a. Golly. Let me see if I can find it on my phone. Live. No. There you go. Comment on my own stream. But yeah, anyways, so the rain had subsided somewhat by the time she reached the school gate. Sunlight seemed to be playing peekaboo behind the clouds in the distance. It looked like it might be cleared by the excuse me. It looked like it might be cleared up by early afternoon. The weather reflected her luck. On top of being forced out of the house at an early hour, she had to suffer through a winter rain. Excuse me. I'm getting a bad, or I'm getting a bad feeling about this. Second feeling she had only grew as she passed through the entrance and headed inside. She didn't encounter any other students along the way, nor did she see anyone taking part in club activities either. The reception desk at the faculty room simply read "faculty closed." School had given all of its students a day off. Excuse me, except the excuse me, except those explicitly summoned like her. A fact that irked her more and more as the minutes passed. She opened the door to the faculty room and headed toward the desk she had visited a number of times before. The man at the desk wore a plain shirt and a suit that were nonetheless neatly pressed. Slim framed glasses adorned his face, giving off an amicable yet cunning air. The mild-mannered image this mid-20s man presented clashed with the cigarette he smoked. He didn't appear to have noticed her yet. Yamashiro, huh? Thought it was Yamashiro. Weird. She closed the door with a bang. Showing no response to the sudden sound, Mr. Yamashiro lifted his head. Having graduated from this high school himself, Mr. Yamashiro was not much older than the rest of the students. For that reason, the students preferred him over the other teachers. He always had something interesting to talk about and kept conversations casual. In fact, he seemed more like an older student than a teacher, but she unfortunately didn't share her fellow students' fondness for him. This game is really loud. There you go. She was of the opinion that teachers should come across as more austere. Huh? How do you pronounce that? Wait, what? And what does that mean? Oh, severe or strict. Oh, austere. Okay. Alright. Makes sense, makes sense. Little B stand for little boss. Like an iron fist that could inspire both love and hate in equal measure, not a buddy to joke and pal around with. He was the exact opposite of how she felt a teacher should be. It was only natural that her manner towards him would be forced and unfriendly. Not that she'd ever been wired to make friendly small talk. The matter-of-fact answer perfectly matched the displeasure displayed on her face. Her bad mood from having to get up early and the tiredness from staying up late must have collectively made her look positively adversarial. As Mr. Yamashiro met her piercing eyes, he finally understood the reason behind her tone, until he put out his cigarette. One of Mr. Yamashiro's eyebrows stood up, impressed with the brevity of her answer. Oh, dang, that autoscript's kind of slow though. So anyway, I can text settings. There you go. Let's see if that's better. He could see that she was angry, not because she had been called to school on her day off, but because she hadn't been told why she was here. Yeah, just Mr. Yamashiro. Yeah, excuse me. Mr. Yamashiro chuckled sympathetically. She threw him an unamused look. It was negligent of them to be pushing teaching duties on her, but she did wonder how exactly this transfer student was peculiar. Maybe he meant the student had behavioral problems or was difficult somehow. But peculiar, she had the slightest idea what that meant. She had her doubts, but swept them aside for now. This wasn't the time to get distracted by more concerns. The fact remained that this conversation was all the peculiar she could handle, as she needed more information. She was already beginning to fantasize about saying no and curling up in her warm bed at home. Oh, wow, my bad. Completely spaced out there. Though her tone was still stern, it was clear that she was willing to cooperate. She had decided to put her feelings of dissatisfaction aside and focus on the task at hand. Forcing herself to act empathetic in spite of her self absorbed nature was something she was used to. Paradoxically, this force of will was also the reason teachers put so much faith in her. To a point. At, excuse me, to a point. At times, that strength shattered expectation, and on those occasions, they were left with no choice but to treat it like a natural disaster and weather it until it passed. That was how Mr. Yamashiro had to come to deal with her over the past year. Pressured by a question without a clear yes or no answer, he answered. Her eyes did nothing to hide her disbelief as she glared at him. Strength far beyond that of an ordinary 17-year-old girl, coupled with youthful beauty of one. The youthful beauty of one. Mr. Yamashiro let slip a genuine smile, admiring the morality. Geez, wow, I cannot talk. Good lord. Mr. Yamashiro let a me restarting didn't do anything. That's hilarious. Mr. Yamashiro let slip a genuine smile, admiring the miraculous balance of qualities. In other words, he knew she wouldn't say no. Wow, that's toxic. And they just, that's weird. Oh well, I'm good, thanks, she replied before turning and walking out of the faculty room. He had been waiting for about an hour. While he did, the rain shower lightened into a drizzle. His mind wandered as he listened to the sound of the raindrops. The room was filled with neatly arranged rectangular tables. He was the only one there. Quite some time had passed since he had been brought to this room and asked to wait. Even the best behaved student might have grown dissatisfied or anxious with the situation by now, but that boy stuck to his spot like a scarecrow. He was chilled to the bone. It was the end of November, and the low temperature in the room had marked the start of winter. The room was not much warmer. The heater hadn't been turned on either. Excuse me, either he missed the teacher telling him to turn it on, or he'd never seen one in his life. He breathed lightly on his freezing fingers as he aimlessly surveyed his surroundings. His dreary place was apparently a meeting room. Other students might have considered it a wonderful place to meet, but to him it was drab and overly spacious. It was a lifeless place that reminded him of an arid cave. Stuck in his cold room with absolutely nothing to do, his mind turned to what they wanted to discuss. Unable to come up with a solid answer, he returned his attention to the sound of rain. The rain hardly resembled the rain in the mountains, though he could still recognize it, barely. Its smell and sound were harsher, but at the end of the day, rain was still rain. So even this world, alien as it was, could have something in common with the mountains. That trivial detail perked him up a little bit. He liked how the town looked soaked in rain. Naturally, he preferred sunny weather, but he liked the rain in its own way. The fog from the rain had soaked up the scent of soil, and it reminded him of home. It was at times like these that he was able to numb the anxiety the city gave him. But then he let out a discouraged sigh. How pathetic. He's already been here 2 weeks and thoughts of his hometown still made him sad. Perhaps feeling that he was being unfair to his new life, he composed himself and continued to wait patiently. I don't care about Balatro, bro. It's putting on Balatro like I play Balatro, bro. I don't play Balatro, man. Like, come on, bro. I'm sorry if you play Balatro. I did not mean to be disrespectful. There you go, anyways. As if having a passion for distractions, his attention returned to the sound of the rain once more. Waiting like this didn't seem to be particularly hard for him. He quietly endured the numbing cold and the hour alone with calm, deep breaths. Look at that. As the saying goes, good things comes to those who wait. I butchered that. Wow. Good things come to those who wait. A strong point of his or not, he was astonishingly patient. Astonishingly patient. It was certainly helping him out in this moment. Nice reflection. I like that. She, on the other hand, was livid. The profile of the transfer student had been explained to her on her way to the meeting room. She was told he lived his whole life up in the mountains without any electricity. That meant more than half of the civilized society would have been an utter mystery to him. Never heard of who that is. I have no idea who that is. Do I want to look it up? Yeah, sure, why not? I wish they had an index, or not an index, an encyclopedia to show like things like that. That's one thing I do like about Steins Gate, that they have an encyclopedia that just has that there. Oh, okay, I see what it is. It's just it's an individual who was stranded for 28 years, which, apt comparison. She had every right to be angry. His village had apparently remained isolated in the mountains for many years. Contact of villages in the foothills and the mountains only occurred once a month or so, which was unfathomable in modern Japan. Although expressways in Japan rail, the old nation railways, now span the country like arteries, it wasn't entirely impossible for mountain villages like his to exist. But she couldn't imagine how someone born in such circumstances would think or live. She shot a sidelong glare. She shot a sidelong glare his way as he laughed. It seemed that the naivety of the country. I think that's how you pronounce it. I've every time I've read that word, I've had a certain way I've said it in my head, but pronouncing it and thinking it are two different things. So if I butcher it, I'm sorry, but I know what the word is. So I'm not gonna look it up, but that's besides the point. Of the country boy had cheered up Mr. Yamashiro a bit. Whoa, 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 whoa. There you go. Bop, 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 bop. Okay. Wait, what was for the backlog? Oh, I have my controller right here. It's what? What am I doing? There you go. Okay. So I was here. I'm sorry by the way. I didn't mean to. I just pressed the wrong button and skipped forward. So that's my view. I'm sorry about that. Let's hold on. That's really disrespectful to say. Teacher, he's not a pet. What are you talking about? Not at all. As she gave her blunt reply, she tried to simulate in her mind what life without electricity would be like, but the thought of it took her sour mood from bad to worse. After all, it was a world she had never known. Oh, excuse me. She could understand why teachers had given up. She, too, wanted to give up her return to her warm bed, but her good for nothing pride was holding her hostage. Not only did the teachers believe she was up to the task, but she also believed she could do it. It wasn't that easy to go back on her word no matter how bad things looked after the fact. She walked along the hallway, the rain pattering in the background. The meeting room was already in sight. With a furrowed brow, she fixed her long hair in anticipation of the meeting, er, wow, excuse me, in anticipation of meeting the unknown stranger within. Her elegant strides were like those of a confident general going into battle. Excuse me, going into battle. She's 17. Why is she so confident already? I don't trust her. Mr. Yamashiro's excuse me. Mr. Yamashiro's shoulders slumped the second they reached the meeting room. As he put his hand on the door, his eyes seemed to say to her, "Be nice, please." So he made her more irritated. She sighed about her social shortcomings, but then it occurred to her that being called into school on a day off while sleep deprived wasn't anything to smile about anyway. She also thought that the person responsible for this mess would be better off attending elementary school. Might not be his fault, but neither was it her duty or obligation to do the teacher's work for them. At the very least, could have used her brains and organized all this on a normal school day. Another complaint she wanted to voice later. A sworn enemy's a bit of a stretch, huh? You're like, that's hatred for no reason. Clear your mind. Expunge this negativity from your heart. You were gonna sleep, brother. What do you mean you were busy? Her pounding headache from a lack of sleep had boosted her aggression by 10%. No matter how harmless the guy on the other side of the door may be, anyone who disturbed her sleep was an enemy. And just as she was reaching peak annoyance, Mr. Yamashiro opened the door to the meeting room. The room slowly slid into view. She didn't care for formalities, just looked straight ahead and stormed into the room. And found herself face to face with the most unusual opponent. Excuse me. Before we go on, let's see from another perspective. Turning back the clock just a little. You don't have to do anything. For some, those words are a priceless luxury. For others, they are unbearable torture. For the proactive girl, it was definitely the former. That she'd be too suspicious of the motives of anyone giving her such a gift to accept it. For the passive boy, it was definitely the latter. A bitter thorn that made him homesick. That at this very moment his mind was still distracted with the way for his face to reveal any discontent. He maintained perfect posture as he stared at the gray sky. He had already waited a whole hour. Excuse me. But figured that they must have had their reasons for making him wait. Where's my what's it called? There you go. Yeah, I like my own stream. What am I doing? Alrighty. As long as he had the sound of the rain to soothe him, he could keep on waiting. He had been vaguely keeping track of time as he listened to the rain. Due to the holiday, the school building was completely silent, except for the patter of the rain on the window. The mood felt as damp as the air. It was then he heard the heavy clatter of footsteps approaching. He could hear two sets of footsteps, one heavier step belonging to an adult. He breathed a sigh of relief as the door slid open. The first person he saw was a man wearing glasses and an awkward smile. That Mr. or excuse me, that's Mr. Yamashiro, the one who brought me here. Oh, hold on. He reminds me of Akiyama from Yakuza 0, or excuse me, Yakuza 4 or 5. Mr. Yamashiro scratched his head, looking increasingly apologetic. And then, from behind him, with a tight lip expression that made it clear she didn't want to be there, a dark haired girl with a determined look in her eyes appeared. There you go, now we see Sojiro's face. Sojiro gulped. A weird way to spell Sojiro, but not my place to say. The sound of the rain on the window faded into nothingness. That's when he knew. This is how it felt when time stood still. She blinked quickly a few times, as if taken aback. What was any? Why was anyone's guess? The boy was everything she expected a naive country boy to look like. However, she felt something she couldn't understand. His eyes widened slightly as if taken aback. The reason was obvious. Putting his feeling into words is a different matter altogether, so we will never know exactly what he experienced in that moment. Wow, what a way to just not explain it. That interesting, interesting. That's when it hit him. He sensed he had been touched by the hands of destiny. Why? Why do they have names that like are based on alliteration? So or Suzuki Sojiro, Aozaki Aoko, Aoko Aozaki, Sojiro Suzuki. Weird, weird. His voice and the sound of the rain seemed distant. This is how they first met. Such was their start, for better or worse, like the ephemeral beauty of fireworks. Let me let me stop here. Let me save. Place bookmark, save data. Yeah, let's do it. Save, and then no, it's got a title. Alrighty, but yeah, so far so far so good. Really like the start of this so far. Not a lot going on, but that start with the rabbit, or excuse me, the cat, pretty depressing. And I can tell like that's not just gonna be like a throwaway thing. There's gonna be something going on there. So you know, we're just gonna see what happens next. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for sure. But yeah, thank y'all for watching as always. I know his stream was a bit disjointed, but wanted uh wanted to try some things, and we'll see how it goes with like Scott Pilgrim, how I'm gonna handle that. But definitely enjoying what's it called, Witch of the Holy Night a lot more. So if I play Scott Pilgrim, we'll see, like if I continue it. But if not, I'm sorry that I couldn't continue it. It's just more like a lack of interest, to be honest. But you know, if you like the game, by all means, you're entitled to that. I'm not gonna trash on that for anything. But yeah, anyways, I'm just rambling at this point. Thank you all for watching as always, and as always, been Infamous Isaac, and I'll see you all in the next stream. Peace.